All right, so I think we fixed it. What a cluster. What a cluster. Excellent connection. All right, let's see. Let's see if anyone shows up, huh? Jay, where have you been? Getting a lot of those messages lately. Shoot more videos. Been getting those messages lately. It's good. Just move that over. That didn't do anything. We'll talk about all that. And new case study got coming out. Be sharing with you. Let's just check this really quick. Can you hear me? Hear my audio. Let's make sure we got... Won't be a long one, but it's already been a pain in the ass to get this started, so maybe it will be longer than I thought. Audio. Hey, there it is. Okay, biggest question on everyone's mind is, why don't I do videos anymore? Well, because first off, YouTube sucks. Secondly, YouTube sucks. And thirdly, YouTube sucks. So it's pretty much that... I never made a lot off YouTube anyways. I think in my best year I made like $5,000 or $6,000. And this is more like, I loved shooting videos and especially doing live streams so I could talk about like relevant shit and important stuff. And you can't really do that anymore because like what you see on the screen, if I were to say that word, the C word, on the screen, the CV word, then this would be demonetized and I might get strikes on my channel. They might just delete the channel. So I don't know, I'm like in this place still to where I'm like figuring out how I want to regenerate and once again pivot this channel. I have a few options, you know. I could totally be like the other personal finance channels and I could make videos that are like millionaire has lunch with millionaire and they talk about scammer millionaire or millionaire reacts to dirty underwear in laundry. And stupid shit like that, which you know exactly who I'm talking about, which makes those types of videos. And those guys coincidentally get promoted into algorithms and those videos are everywhere. But to me, I don't know, to me those videos are really low quality and really low value. Not quality, great quality, very low value. So anyways, that's where I'm kind of at with that is just figuring out like, do I want to completely tank this channel and just fucking light it on fire? By talking about stuff like on the screen and other weird shit that everyone's thinking about but nobody wants to talk about and what's going on with masculinity and what's going on with fucking humanity in general. I don't know. I get that itch sometimes to just, you know, go all in on that and let's see if I can't burn this thing down to the ground. But yeah, all right. So there's that going on. That solves that question, like why haven't I been making content? I also don't have a video editor. I won't until I go back to Asia. So maybe... If somebody was doing all my editing again, and somebody was, maybe I'd be more interested in shooting video, and maybe I will turn this channel into more like that. But we'll see. We'll just have to see where that goes. But anyways, there's a lot going on about this this virus, and typical. You got a lot of people freaking out about it. Weak people who just need something to complain about, who need something to worry about, and so boom, perfect. They got this right on time. Everything was going too good. Now they got something to complain about. But that's neither here nor there. There's a lot of opportunities that are opening up right now, and that's what I want to talk about. Is this year there will be an absolute shit ton of opportunities. If you thought, gosh, you know, if you missed the whole from December 2018 ride up, and you thought maybe I missed the whole market, well, actually, you've got your opportunity to buy back in. The issue is most people won't. Like, let me ask you a question. Let's do a quick poll in the chat with who's on here. Would you buy today? Would you buy any S&P position? Any, well, not any stock. I was going to say any stock, but would you buy spot right now, SPX, SPY? Yes or no? No, right? because now we've seen in the media for the last week and a half, that it's all doom and gloom and the world's going to come to an end and everyone's going to get the big C word and we're all going to be dead, right? And the market's reacting. They chewed up a 50 base point rate cut and spit it out later on that same day, and that did nothing to the markets. Fed is looking at cutting again around in this month, in March. But yeah, it's just kind of funny because nobody's buying right now. Well, some people are, but yeah, and the reason why they're not is because when the market gets like this, when the market's going good, everyone's like, man, if I would have just had that one more shot to get Bitcoin at $100, I would have bought like 20 million. I would have sold my kidney. I would have sold my grandma. I would have sold my house. And then Bitcoin comes down to $100 and they're like, fuck that Bitcoin stuff, man. Bitcoin's going to zero. And then it's back up to 10 grand and they're like, damn it, I did it again. I did it again. That's dumb money. But there's going to be a ton of opportunities like that to buy this year. A lot of opportunities. There's still a lot in question, okay? And I think that is excellent. Most people do not. I think that is excellent news. And so I'm watching to see if this isn't just a retest on SPY here, the S&P, because we haven't even matched the low that we saw on February 28th. So yeah, let's see. If we match that, then I'm going to assume we're going to break down more. But this kind of seems like a little bit of a retest, and we could just bounce out of this, and that could be it. Because it would take another big, like, oh my God, 1,000 people just got infected, for it to like be like, oh, blah. But as long as it kind of stays where it's at, where it's like everyone thinks that the CDC and the agencies and all that are doing their job and everything's going good, then we should start to see a little bit of relief like we saw, what was that, 3rd and 4th. Anyways, okay, so that's, other updates is mitigating membership sites and moving a bunch of stuff over that was like all over the place, condensing that in because, we started to grow a lot of assets very quickly. And earlier this year, I was deeply in flow, and when I'm in flow, I create. And so that's why you saw I was creating product after product after product, because that's what happens. When you're in like that kind of creative flow, you're always creating. And that was definitely, so that was taking priority at that point. And so I was making a lot of programs and stuff and products. And so now I'm going to bring all those in, consolidate them, move over membership sites. A lot of shit's getting redone. Like the entire personal finance program that I launched is getting built up bigger. So there's maybe like 5 hours of video content. It was mostly written content and downloadables. And now I'm going back in and beefing up and doing a ton of video. My goal is to have like 30, 40 hours of video in that. And what we're going to do with that then is I'm going to start doing case studies and showing those case studies. So one of the case studies you saw in the headline, we were able to go out and get about 93,000 in fresh credit, right? Which that's my clickbait headline for today. I'm sure a lot of people won't like that, but yeah, I would say it went good. We did have one really big fuck up on my part that stopped us from getting like another 20 or 30, but in general, I mean, for not having a lot of experience doing this stuff, I think I did quite well. And yeah, so I talk about credit a lot and stuff now, which I don't know if people like it. I don't really care. I'm going through a lot of that myself, right? Like getting brand new businesses, corporations, LLCs, whatever, and taking them from like, okay, they're brand new. We just got our EIN. Okay, now let's go get DUNS. Let's build up business credit, and let's go now and get credit cards and all this stuff. And so these are just natural things that I'm doing at a higher level now. And because I'm doing it, I'm inviting you guys into it. Which is wildly different than what I used to talk about, wildly different than this being a crypto channel, wildly different from me doing gold and silver TA in 2017, actually, or 2018. Raise your hand or say yes in the chat if you remember me doing gold and silver TA in 2018. I did a live stream almost every day from July till, was that June, July, August, maybe? 2-3 months? 2-3 months in a row. And if you want more from me and you want to stay in the loop, join the Discord. It's free. You can also join. I have 2 email lists. One's on mindset and self-improvement, which is a big problem in American society today, and the other one is more about economics. Those are the only 2 things I talk about. So I talk about money and I talk about mindset. Right? Is that not the most 2 important things outside of faith? Faith and family. 4 F's. Faith, family. What is it? Faith, family, fitness, finances. There we go. So, yeah. I think I talk about the most important shit that impacts your life. Hopefully you would agree. So mindset.substack.com. Boom. That's the mindset one. EmpireAlerts.substack.com. That's the other one. I write a few emails per week. The Empire Alerts used to be free and it used to be every day. Now I only write every day for the paid people who buy the yearly membership. That's just how it goes, man. So I'm going to give my attention the most to people who give me money. Just like anyone else would. So, yeah, anyways, we've been keeping up on all this big C word stuff. But if you want to catch up, here's a good post I just made the other day. Gives you a good idea of what's going on, historical reactions and base cut reactions, as well as how much has now been pledged and, the game, the money side of it anyways, not the responses and how many people and blah, blah, blah. There's actually a really great tracker that John Hopkins has put together for that. So if you want to see that, I'll just flash that really quick. But here you go. It's free. It's on this article. You can go to that article. But there you go. 55K recovered. We got 3,400 perished. 101,000 totally affected. I want to stop, not talk about that because that'll get me freaking get me removed here. So anyways, yeah, so we got that case study coming out. That'll be done as a free webinar. And you guessed it, at the end of the webinar, I'm going to be selling something. So, yes, that's how that works. But in the webinar itself, I'm going to go through the entire thing we did. Okay, so that you could go out and just do it yourself if you wanted to. I don't really care. The goal is not really to sell programs. The goal is to get the information out there. And so, yeah, that will be happening this month. I got a couple events and a bunch of shit I got to get done this month outside of this. One of the big things I've been doing is working with individual clients, consulting off to the side here, where everyone kind of forgets about you really quick and doesn't care, because that's what I used to do, and that's what I do. That's my primary means of making money, is working with people one-on-one. So been helping other people with their businesses with their problems. And yeah, I'd love to say it's going good, but it's not. I think coaching and working with people is one of the biggest pain in the asses ever. It's so much easier. Like, that's why so many people make digital programs and sell them, because actually they don't really give a fuck if you buy it and use it and never look at it ever again. They don't really care because they made their money already. It's incredibly difficult to work with somebody one-on-one because you're bumping into all the traumas, all the bad habits, all the worldviews, all the beliefs, all the garbage that gets in the way that stops the doingness, okay? The resistance that stops the doing. And it's very difficult, incredibly difficult to work with people one-on-one. Yeah, if I were to do it all over again, I would come up with some other way of figuring out how to get the message to people and work with them without it having to be one-on-one. But I just don't see how that would be possible. Yeah. Questions, drop them in the chat. But yeah, I had a lot of people asking, hey, I know it's been like a month since I did a video, but I just wanted to jump on, do a live stream update. You see I got a beard back, so the beard is now grown back in. I'll give you a quick health update because I know some of you are tracking up on that. So let's kind of start at the beginning. I grew up in the Midwest. I'm obviously a white male. Putting me in a super humid environment for a long period of time obviously does not do well. And so, yeah. So anyways, living in Asia for 4 or 5 years, I got some weird shit that happened. And it took me a really long time to find it and a really long time to fix it. I got really out of shape. I got really unhealthy and couldn't exercise, couldn't do a lot of things, and finally get myself back on track here over the last year. It's taken a year, which is even more, I don't know what's more depressing. The fact that a healthy male got sick because it was too fucking hot out and there's too much mold in the air, or the fact that it took me a year to get over it. I don't know what's more tragic. I don't know what's tragic, man. I really don't. So, anyways, cardiovascular wise and aerobic capacity wise, I'm in the best shape of my life. Run circles around anyone, and I'm in high elevation right now. So when I go back down to normal elevation, normal training conditions, I will be sprinting around these people. But I've mostly been focusing on, because I've got this ultra that I made a commitment to and want to do this year. So I've been training zone 2, getting my aerobic base built up for months now. You know, knocking out 10, 20 miles a week, 10, 20 miles a week. Don't tell anybody. I just go do it, right? Knocked out 4 miles yesterday. But even with that, like, I noticed in December, so I'll give you the latest update. So even in December, I was like, okay, well, all right, so the health was feeling good. Physical body's starting to snap back. Still got way more body fat than I want. And I'm at like 218 to give you an idea, and I'm 6'1". So what I noticed was, like, I started having like brain issues. Like, the longest spurt I've had, and this is where we're going to talk about some fun stuff, okay? The longest spurt I've had in flow, where like it's like life flow. Every day is just like you're in a magical zone of creating, and everything is effortlessly happening, and it's happening so fast, and it's like it's like the definition of bliss, okay? Every single fucking day. That's the best way I can put it. And the longest spurt I've had in that zone is like 10 months. And I tried pushing last year a couple times because I was like, you know, okay, after I'm, 4 or 5 months into recovering and all the dumb shit I was doing, I'm like, okay, let's push now. And it lasted, the first time I did it, it lasted like maybe 2 months. I was like, okay, well, that's weird. Well, I must still be sick, right? Go back to the drawing board, keep taking the natural medicine and working this shit out, because my lymphatic was shut down, my endocrine system was shut down, central nervous system wasn't working right. I was fucked, okay? And then around the tail end of the year, it's like December, and I'm like, dude, I can't like get into flow. I can't get into flow for a really long period of time. And the one time that I did last year is when I literally created like everything you see. All the new stuff you see for Empire, all the new stuff you see for Jameson Brandon, all of that was created like in a 60-day period, which just proves that if you are on your shit, if you are in flow, there is no limit to what you can do, which should excite everybody who's still listening, everybody who comes back and watches this replay, because we're capable of so much more than you realize. And every single one of us is playing fucking small. Okay? I don't care if you're making $1 million a year, which ain't shit anymore, by the way, or you're making $10 million a year. It doesn't really matter. You're not tapped into your full potential. And flow gives us that look. It gives us that glimpse into what it could be like. And it's very fucking addicting. Very addicting. So we're not talking about just like, oh, I jumped out of a fucking airplane, so I'm in flow. Well, yeah, no shit. Go do any extreme sport or put yourself in a do or die situation, and you'll either tap into flow or die or get really seriously injured. And so it's very easy to get into flow momentarily. I can get into flow going to see an IMAX movie, right? And you look into Steve Kotler's stuff on flow if you have no clue what I'm talking about. But anyways, there's a way to stretch that out and live in that zone, and that's what I'm missing deeply. And so yeah, I went to work, and what I realized is I got in a couple really bad car accidents in 2015. Got in a bad crash in a drift car. We basically ended up coke canning it around a tree, and I wasn't wearing a helmet, so I had a hard head impact back then. Then I had a couple other wipeouts on a dirt bike when I first got out to Bali, and I started learning how to ride a crotch rocket and all that shit. So anyways, yeah, that over time creates problems. Just like a concussion, just like any sports athlete that does extreme shit and sometimes falls on their head. There is a negative consequence to that because you're forcing neural networks shut. So I said, okay, well, let's try something different. Let's try the brain side of it. And what do you know? I go in and there is a bunch of overactivity areas. So I went in to get a mapping of my brain, neurofeedback, okay, is what it's called, EEGs, all right? And so I went and got a map of my brain, and now we're going to work on some issues. But it's funny how the coincidence works. The overactive areas and the areas that are unflexible is the simplest way to put it. The areas of the brain that are unflexible and overactive are on the opposite side of where my impacts were. And those sides are not working as much. The side of the impact are not working as much and have more areas that are struggling and not really firing the same. Which you want to have, you want to have a very dynamic and flexible, malleable brain, right? And so, anyways, that's what we've been going to work on lately, and it's having an awesome effect. So I can already feel the itch and the flow kind of coming back. So it'll be great because now we'll be able to make a big push through the summer here, and there's a lot of shit that I got to get done, and so it's good that all that's working out perfectly. So, anyways, questions from you guys. What do you guys got? What are you thinking? I know there's like a 40-second delay. And people are coming and going. They want to see what's up. They want to hear what's going on. Some people care, some people don't. But yeah, man, this is life. This is the shit this is why the viewer count drops when you start talking about the real shit. Because you go to the Make Money guys and they tell you about how it's going to be easy, right? Easy, safe, effortless. Because they know you've lost money in the market. That's why my shit, it'll never sell the same unless I come out and say it's going to be easy. And I come out and I tell you it's going to be safe. Then my shit will sell. Because in the back of your mind, you got a trauma from crypto 2017. Or from fucking S&P stock market 2018. Or stock market right now. You got traumas. And it starts to, string together this bigger story in your brain. Which causes fear. It causes inability to be able to fire. Pull the trigger. Make the decision right now. Buy, sell, right? And so that doesn't sell. But if I told you it's going to be easy, that sells. Right? On the, self-improvement side of it. I write those emails. And I'm in their face. Because I'm telling you what the fuck the deal actually is. But if I wanted to sell books, so I want to be on CNBC, man. And, ABC and do the tour. Do my book. Do my Audible. Go on tour for the book. I could give it a title that makes it sound edgy. But on the inside, it's really soft. And it tells you about how it's going to be easy. About how you just need to follow my 3-step, 5-step, 8-step system, right? That's not how it goes, man. That's not reality. It's reality in a very small way. And that's why this happens. So there it goes. It jumps up, and then it pulls right back down. Because nobody wants to hear this. They want to jump back onto the other live stream that tells them that it's all going to be okay. I figured it out. I've been to hell and back, and I've got the 8-step system for you. Yeah, it just doesn't go like that. So, and I've always been pretty transparent about my journey and the things that I've struggled with, and because I just don't care. You want to buy my shit? Great, go for it. You don't? Cool. Maybe you need somebody else. You're not ready for that. Maybe you want to listen to somebody pumping rainbows still, but that's how it is, And so, yeah, I'm excited because there's a lot that I've got planned this year for the community. I'd love to pivot this YouTube channel again and kind of figure out a new angle to go with. Maybe once I get back home and I get an editor, maybe I'll be excited again. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, there's plenty of ways to follow me. There's plenty of ways to get tuned in and stay tapped in to what we're doing, what I'm doing. There's a free Discord, free daily emails. I mean, fuck, I don't know what else I could do. I already give away 80% or so for free, so that's on you guys. Questions before I wrap it up here, since I tried this twice before I got it going, and I got shit to do. What do we got? There's a delay, but let's see. Yeah, there's 10 people on there and nobody was chatting. Which, it still kind of hurts my ego. It still kind of hurts my ego. Used to have hundreds of people on the live stream. I think the biggest we had was thousands. Now I get fucking 7 people on a live stream. But that's the game. That's the game. Yeah, it's tricky to stay committed to the uploads. It's definitely very tricky. Because you can't, there's so much you can't talk about now. So much you can't talk about. And with the macroeconomy stuff that I always got my face in, it's like a lot of times that's like what's on my mind. And so I'd talk about that stuff, and then, so it's like, yeah, what's on my mind all the time is economics, personal finance, and getting better. Physical. Going to the gym. Fucking crushing out some weight. I don't know. I'm a pretty simple guy when it comes to stuff like that. But rare breed, as you can tell, going around, looking around society today. Fucking rare breed. That's a whole nother topic to talk about. But yeah, that's stuff I talk about on the other stuff. A lot of people moved on. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's moved on. A lot of people ran away from investing because they weren't investors to begin with. They were the definition of dumb money. And then they got stung. They got cocky, first off. They got cocky. We all did. Crypto 2017. Thought you're invincible. Thought you couldn't be, hurt. Then rug pull. And then everybody runs away. There's a lot of people that ran away, like, right away. There's a lot that stuck around, but quite a few that ran right away. Yeah, you probably were subscribed when this is a crypto channel, bud. We've gone through many iterations since then, which is what we kind of were just talking about. Go through the rest of the channel, and if you don't want to be here, then don't be here. Right? It's kind of part of the whole thing. But yeah, and it's the same thing you're seeing now. And what'll usher in, what's interesting to see now is what's going to happen with I call it the Robinhood demographic, which is basically all of they're essentially retail money. They're dumb money, but they've come in on Robinhood apps and half-ass, like round up the tip, or whatever they're called, where it rounds up what you just paid and it tosses that into buying like Apple or Berkshire or something, and all of a sudden everyone's an investor. And it'll be interesting to see with not only the outages from Robinhood, and they've told people to take a hike with getting reimbursed because it's in their TOS that it's not their problem if you basically lose money, even though it was their fault that there was the outages. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see the fallout from that, because you have a lot of people who had like access to buying that didn't before. Let's be honest, it was still pretty hard before Robinhood to buy stocks. It was still fairly hard to buy stocks back in the day. But since Robinhood, since the robo advisors, the robo tools, it's fairly easy, right? Well, that comes with its own consequences and its own its own price too. Because retail money tends to think that, well, Tesla just opened up, the Chinese distribution and the Chinese manufacturing, and, they just got valued at this, and they think that, it's going to go on forever. Just like we all thought back in the old crypto days. Yes, I was one of the ones who pushed BitConnect back in the day, briefly. Yeah, and many others. That's really not a question to ask on this live stream. Go back and look through the channel. I don't know where you've been this whole time, but a lot of learning from that. If there wasn't learning from that, you would see me trying to be a TA guy, wouldn't you? Wouldn't I be trying to be a crypto TA guy? Because that's where all those guys pivoted. They either quit, or they pivoted into trying to be a crypto weatherman and tell you if it's going to go up or down today. Or, I don't know, maybe like me. Did some of them pivot out? I know we completely pivoted out. Talk about macroeconomics now. So, yeah. But great experience overall. And if you can't learn from experiences in the past, then you're just going to keep repeating the same mistakes, and you kind of deserve it, because that's why they're there. The growth is there for a reason, and the challenge is there. And if you choose to grow from it, great. And if you don't, then you'll probably make that mistake slightly differently later on. But yeah. There's not anything wrong with TA. I'm just being a bit hyperbolic. I do TA. I follow TA. I trade off TA. So, but my point was more so that, and I can admit that with myself too, is that the fact that I didn't get into TA before was just because I was lazy. And I can assume it was some variation of that for a lot of the other people that like then pivoted. But then I did learn it because I wanted to know what just went wrong, right? So like after everyone lost money, myself included, $220,000-ish. I wanted to know like, okay, well, what the fuck did I just do wrong? Like what just happened, right? But I didn't stay long in TA because I was like, okay, well, I'm all about, there's a deep structure to everything, right? And so I wanted to figure out like, okay, well, what's deeper than TA and fundamentals and, earnings and all that. And, that's when I kind of started looking at like the deeper aspects of how cycles work and economics. And it's a fascinating topic, which obviously like here we are 2 years later and I'm completely and utterly fascinated with economics now. Not so much investing is a part of economics, but yeah. 93K case study was already talked about, but we went out and got 93,000 in funding, credit cards, business credit cards and personal credit cards. And so I'm going to do a webinar free training on what we did, okay? Which that's another fun topic that a lot of people have issues around is debt, right? So, yeah. Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, like I said, Rich, this is not one of my prime videos. Check out other ones if you like. Stick around if you resonate. If you don't, that's cool too. Appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, guys, any other questions before I pop off? Again, this is just 30 minutes now. This is just a quick update and kind of like a little bullshitting on what's going on this end and what to expect. But yeah, that's why I've been like fairly MIA. There's just a lot of stuff I'm trying to knock out, and I'm trying to go back home soon, getting all that lined up, and I've been away a while now, so there's a lot more to like fix and think about and coordinate now going back than before when it was just a couple months or anything. Yeah, cool. All right, guys, appreciate you tuning in. There'll be more coming soon. If you're new to the channel, if you're just checking us out, take a look around, and if you like what you see, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, comment below, and more stuff coming soon. All right? Yeah, see ya.